So, my personal philosophy of education is based on the belief that when my classroom is filled with empathy, it is also filled with growth. I absolutely believe this is effective because students have different needs and challenges, and creating a classroom that is positive and welcoming and caring is one of the first steps. It also, that empathy allows me to understand the students better, what their needs are, what challenges they face. Fulfilling that in turn can create an environment where students end up being attentive and honest because they see that you genuinely care for their growth. One of the things I am always thinking about, and I have been thinking about throughout this program, is what can I do to make sure that my students are learning to the best of their abilities? And I think that with empathy alone, students can become confident in their own growth because you're confident in theirs. Um, I think definitely my philosophy of education is something that is constantly growing and evolving. But at the forefront of it all is just understanding and caring about these students. I think throughout the student teaching, I have realized that it's my responsibility to show a sense of community within the classroom. So I think that in itself is important because students are building connections with their peers as well as building connections outside of the classroom. And this is something that they're going to be doing in their careers as well. And I think there's no better place to show the importance of that than in a classroom where students become familiar with different cultures and socioeconomic backgrounds. And these skills, these empathetic skills, are valuable because students carry that to a bigger community where they then can be leaders as well and carry on the same idea. Um, and I think that given that my content area is English, there's always room to discuss this very matter. And we see this throughout the novels that we have been reading this semester with my students. You're dealing with different various perspectives and intentions within texts. And I think it gives students a chance to think about what it means to care about others. These stories really do allow students to grasp different emotions and why people do the things that they do, and maybe understand the world around them a little bit better. And students get a chance to also connect to these characters. Not only are they connecting to these characters, but they are connecting to the people around them. So, my goal is always to create an environment where students know they are important and cared for, and I think that this will translate into a hard working class. When it comes to technology in the classroom, I am very dependent on it. So most of the work that my students do are through Google Classroom. And the reason why I depend on it because I just feel like there are so many opportunities for different students and what their needs are. I have the visuals that I want. I have interactive activities that I want. Students have easier access reaching me. They can contact me whenever they want. They have all the information that they need there. Um, Even when it comes to modifications and accommodations, I always make sure that that is translated through technology. How can I make this easier for those who may need more support? How can I offer different ways of learning to make it something that they enjoy and that they are able to understand? So, technology is integrated into my learning in a very big way. And I think, if anything, it's been able to spread that empathy as well. When I share these stories on my Google Classroom, I always try to maybe connect it to a real life event. This obviously offers me a chance to show different sides of things. Like I mentioned, just the empathy and caring about others and the stories that we are reading. There's so many resources online for these kids to read and learn. So that is my personal philosophy for education.